Hey guys, Robbie here from CrossFit South Bend. Today we're going to talk about what is functional diagnostic nutrition. We're going to try to answer that question. Now, if you're scratching your head and saying, I've never heard the term functional diagnostic nutrition, what does that mean? That's exactly why we're doing this video. So don't worry, we're going to explain exactly what functional diagnostic nutrition is and how it can help you get to where you feel optimally healthy, where you feel your absolute best. So just a little context. Functional diagnostic nutrition is a certification that you can pursue as a way of helping others achieve optimal health. And over the past year, I've been pursuing it. And I'm finally now certified. And this is going to be a service that we're going to be able to provide here at CrossFit South Bend. So I wanted to make this video to tell you a little bit about what functional diagnostic nutrition is. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to bring this service to CrossFit South Bend. This is something that I believe is tremendously powerful. A lot of you here at the gym have seen the power of what CrossFit can do for you, of what our nutrition challenges have been able to do for you in one-on-one nutrition coaching. But I think this provides something even deeper, and I think this is really going to be profound specifically for people who have been dealing with a lot of different chronic health issues in their life, that they're dieting correctly, they're exercising the way they should, they're sleeping the way they should, but they're still not feeling the way they want to. And what functional diagnostic nutrition allows me to do for people who feel this way is to help them really get to the root issue of what's going on and make a long-term fix so that they are once again optimally healthy. So I think one of the most helpful ways to talk about what functional diagnostic nutrition is to describe the ways in which it differs from conventional sort of Western medicine and alternative medicine. Now, as you'll see, and as I'll repeatedly emphasize, this isn't meant to be antagonistic in any way. It's not meant to say, well, conventional medicine is bad and alternative medicine is bad and FDN is good, hooray. It's meant to say most people are familiar with conventional medicine and some people are familiar with alternative medicine, and it's helpful to kind of frame what FDN is in relation to those things. These are things that people are familiar with, so we're trying to frame what people are familiar with relative to what FDN is, so you get a clearer picture of what FDN is. The other reason to mention the difference between conventional and alternative medicine and what FDN does is it will give you a sense of maybe the unique tools that FDN can bring to the table that maybe aren't a part of conventional and alternative medicine. As I'll talk about, conventional medicine does something spectacularly well, just unbelievably well, and there's just, no substitute out there. But there are other things that many of us are aware that conventional medicine kind of leaves on the table unresolved. So we're going to talk about the ways in which FDN can kind of help with those issues. Okay, so medicine. So whether it's conventional or alternative, but I guess here mainly for this first bullet point, I would really be talking mostly about conventional medicine. Conventional medicine is just utterly and unbelievably spectacular at fixing acute issues. This is where Western medicine just excels. This is where, the past, 100+ years of progress that we've seen in Western medicine is just, amazing. If you have Ebola, if you have a gunshot wound, if you are suffering from cancer, if you have some rare genetic disorder, if you, got in a severe car accident and you need surgery to fix an organ or, for a prosthetic leg or something like that. Or if you're suffering from some, rare gut bug or something like that and you need something strong to take it out, for all these acute issues, Western medicine is just absolutely 100% fantastic. And I really want to emphasize that, this isn't meant to be antagonistic between conventional medicine and FDN or conventional medicine and functional medicine. What it's meant to say is that there are certain things that medicine does incredibly well. Acute issues, Western medicine is fantastic for. Chronic issues, on the other hand, maybe not so much. So as we've discussed in previous videos, one of the things that gets left out by standard Western medicine is getting to the root cause of chronic health issues. A lot of what Western medicine does is symptom control. If you have low thyroid, here's some thyroid. If you have low progesterone, here's some progesterone. If you have high cholesterol, here's some statins. All of these things are just symptom control. They're not getting to the root cause of the issue, and they're not making you optimally healthy. So while Western medicine can be fantastic for acute issues, FDN, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, is fantastic for chronic health issues. These are things like fatigue, weight gain, thyroid issues, digestive disorders, cholesterol, like we were just talking about, autoimmune issues, skin issues, all these kind of different things that people just kind of go along and kind of say, oh, well, that's just who I am. Well, I'm a 40-year-old woman now, and I guess my hormones are just going to be all out of whack, and I'm going to have to deal with hot flashes, or my metabolism's slowing down, or I'm a 50-year-old guy and my testosterone should be low. All these things that we tend to attribute to age, that's a false attribution. There's a certain extent to which it's true, but you should be feeling a lot better than most people actually are. All of those types of things are incredibly well suited for what functional diagnostic nutrition does. These chronic issues that are kind of left on the table by medicine. Now, again, just like medicine leaves chronic issues on the table and doesn't do too much to fix them, FDN, you would never go to a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner if you have a gunshot wound, or if you have Ebola, or if you have cancer, or if you just got in a severe car crash and you need surgery. That is time to immediately go to the emergency room and deal with those acute issues. So, it isn't, again, about being antagonistic, it's talking about the relative strengths, and we need to admit, the relative strengths and weaknesses of each approach. Medicine is really, really great for acute issues, really not so great for chronic issues. FDN is pretty much the exact opposite. It's fantastic for chronic issues, and you should never, ever, ever go see an FDN practitioner if you have a gunshot wound or if you got attacked by a bear. That is emergency room medicine 101 right there. Okay, so what are some other ways in which conventional medicine and sometimes alternative medicine can differ from FDN? Medicine focuses on symptom control with drugs and surgery. That's the goal of medicine. We are going to look at and see what symptoms are you dealing with, and we're going to give you either drugs or surgery to alleviate those symptoms. But as we'll talk about repeatedly, not just in future videos, but in this video as well, there are a number of problems with that approach. So symptom control doesn't mean health. You're just playing symptom whack-a-mole. Oh, okay, well, we're going to give you some high blood pressure medicine to fix your high blood pressure. And we're going to give you some, skin medication to fix your skin issues. And we're going to give you some proton pump inhibitors to fix your heartburn. All of those things are just symptom control, and they lead to further symptoms of their own. And it's just symptom whack-a-mole. You're just whacking one symptom after another without actually fixing the issue. Same thing with surgery. You have Graves' disease, let's take your thyroid out. Or let's give you radioactive iodine to destroy your thyroid. Oh, you have gallstones, let's take your gallbladder out. And again, in some cases, this is necessary. But for these chronic conditions, the question is never asked why. Why do you have Graves' disease? Why do you have gallstones? Why is it that your thyroid is underfunctioning? Why is it that you have this autoimmune disease? Why is it that you have high cholesterol? These things don't magically happen. There's no such thing as a normal symptom. If you have a symptom or you have a chronic degenerative issue, there's a reason why it happens. So drugs and surgery are kind of symptom whack-a-mole that doesn't really fix the issue. And this can also be true of alternative medicine. For all the people out there who maybe are struggling with hypothyroidism and they think, oh, well, I'm taking Armour or Nature-Throid from my alternative health practitioner, or iodine, and that's fixing the issue. Well, that's just symptom control too. Your thyroid doesn't underfunction for no reason. There's always a reason why, and it's very important to get to the root cause of that issue. You can't just use something, whether natural or conventional, to just fix the symptom without looking for the underlying cause, unless you want to miss the root issue. So FDN focuses on fixing the root cause with a D.R.E.S. for health success protocol. What does this stand for? Diet, rest, exercise, sleep, diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. So And stress reduction is a really big element. It's not just mental emotional stress, but as we'll talk about later, hidden stressors, things like hormonal imbalances or immune dysregulation or digestion issues or detoxification issues. And supplementation, targeted supplementation for a short period of time to make it so that you can get back on your feet is necessary to fix the root cause. But you'll notice that, the big components here are diet and rest and exercise and stress reduction, whereas here the big components are drugs and surgery, not so much diet and exercise. So this is much more of a holistic approach to health. Medicine diagnoses and treats specific diseases. This is based, just sort of baked into the Western medical system. Insurance will not pay doctors unless there's kind of a diagnosis code and a treatment code on the forms that they have to submit. You need to, for a Western medical practitioner, there needs to be a diagnosis and treatment of specific diseases. Functional diagnostic nutrition does not diagnose or treat disease. That's just not part of what it does. Instead, what it does is it looks for underlying areas for health improvement. We look for areas where we can, promote healing opportunities, where we can coach down, as it were, the contributors to metabolic chaos, meaning the factors that are leading to you to kind of ill health, and coach up the areas that are kind of leading to these healing opportunities. So we look at things more generally. What are these general systems of your body, like your digestion, your detoxification systems, your hormone systems? How are those kind of base systems functioning? If they're not functioning well, then nothing else is going to function well. It could be the case that you have a skin issue because your hormones are out of whack, or you have an autoimmune condition because you have a gut pathogen, or you have leaky gut or something like that, or you have some sort of food sensitivity. So all of those things are sort of general overarching ways in which we look for healing opportunities to help someone get back to their best health, but there is no diagnosis or treatment of disease in functional medicine. That is something specific to Western medicine and sometimes to alternative medicine. And in a lot of ways, at least for chronic conditions, that's all the better for FDN. When it comes to chronic conditions, if you just say, oh, well, you have hypothyroidism, here, take this synthetic T4 replacement and that'll fix you up. That's diagnosing and treating disease, rather than looking at the overall person and seeing what is their overall health like, such that they would have been brought to this point where they have hypothyroidism. That approach is much better in the case of chronic health conditions. Lastly, the main goal for medicine in general is avoiding symptoms and sickness. This is not wellness. This is not health. I can't tell you how many times I've had someone say to me, oh, well, I must be healthy, I never get sick. That doesn't mean you're healthy. Oh, I must be healthy because I don't have any symptoms. That doesn't mean you're healthy. Those things are important, but you have to understand, once you get to the point where you have symptoms or where you possibly could be sick, it's already too late. There are many dysfunctions that have already gone on in the body to get you to the point where you are not healthy anymore. So, D.R.E.S., the founder of Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, has kind of this great wellness meter that I really like. So, if we imagine that this is kind of a meter where here is, optimum health, and over here is, death and, kind of the end of degenerative disease, most people are kind of hovering somewhere right here where symptoms haven't quite started, but if they tip just a little bit in this range, symptoms are going to start. If they have, a car crash or a baby being born or, starting a new job or something like that, symptoms are going to start to happen. But you'll notice you had to go so far over here to get to the point where symptoms might even start, and you're already kind of not at the point where you're at optimal wellness. Optimal wellness is way over here. And sorry, my range of motion is a little bit off at the moment. So, kind of all the way over here is optimal wellness, and here is just not sick, no symptoms. That's not optimal health. What would it be like if you could reach your full genetic potential, where you were all the way over here, where you weren't just surviving, but you're kicking life's ass? you feel like you're dealing with stress really well and you're recovering from workouts and you feel your best, that's optimal health. That's not avoiding symptoms and sickness, which is the goal of Western medicine. And again, just because you don't have symptoms does not mean you are well. Just because you don't get sick often does not mean you are well. Optimal health consists in a lot more than just that. Okay,